PC fam, happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of Chill with Chill. Of course, we are always happy to have y'all here for great hoop talk. We saw y'all yesterday on the panel. We're back today. Chill, how's it going?
Running good, brother. Saturday, beautiful afternoon. Yes, ready to rock and roll. Basketball season. You know how it is, big fella. Basketball season. I'm ready to rock and roll, man. Let's
Man,
do it.
Chill,
Mm-hmm.
it's a beautiful day. I will say, I get jealous when I know the type of weather you got down there. I'm up here, 40 degrees, overcast, raining all the time now. But that's what you get in the Pacific Northwest.
Wish I could say I miss it,
I deal
Ox.
with
I wish I could say I miss it, but I don't, big fella. It ain't
I
like
gotta
I ain't never been in it before, because I have been in it. I just don't miss it. That's
definitely.
all.
I got to get back to some sunshine. But sunshine, rain,
Yes,
sleet,
sir.
hail, snow, whatever, we are going to be here to give y'all top tier basketball content like always. Let me scoot my mic up a little bit. I know I get
Mm-hmm.
low sometimes. Um, Chill. We're not going to waste any time today. I know
Mm-hmm.
the title says, How serious are the Spurs? I know y'all
Yeah.
want to talk about how serious are the San Antonio
We're gonna
Spurs
get to it. Mm-hmm.
and what can they do this season and talk about the alien and Foxy and Dylan Harper
Mm-hmm.
and Castle and all those guys. Of course, I know y'all want to talk about Harrison Barnes. But
Mm-hmm.
but what we're gonna do first is talk about Kevin Garnett. Chill, it appears that the Minnesota Timberwolves ownership, front office, they have made amends with Kevin Durant. I'm sorry, Kevin Garnett in some form or fashion. He will
Mm-hmm.
be brought back in to the in an all-encompassing role involving business, community efforts, and content development.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not only that, chill, they will be finally retiring that number 21 jersey in Minnesota. What does this mean, Chill? And can you give the people a little bit of a backstory and how things went sour for Kevin Garnett after all that he did for that franchise?
Well, the first thing that I want to make sure that we recognize when it comes to Kevin Garnett is that Ox is one of them. You know, he talks a lot about Kevin Garnett because I know how he feels about Paul Pierce. But people forget Kevin Garnett played 19 years in league. Only 6 of them was with the Celtics. He played in Minnesota for 13 years. People forget that. He was up there for more than 2/3 of his career. He was up there. And in the process of him being up there in the 2/3 of his career, he's the best player that they've ever had. He's their all-time scoring leader. He's their all-time rebound leader. He's their all-time steals leader. He's their all-time assist leader. Everything that you can imagine, that's Kevin Garnett. He's the only league MVP that they've ever had. Ever. Right? They went to the Western Conference Championship before Anthony Edwards did it. They did it up in Minnesota with him. He's their all-time shot block leader. He's everything for them. And when he left Brooklyn, he went back to Minnesota because he was wrapping it up in Brooklyn. That was going to be it. He was retiring in Brooklyn. He was going to wrap it up. But they had a deal between him and the owner at the time, Glenn Taylor. That was the deal, that he was going to come back and he was going to groom Cat. And in the process of grooming Cat, he was going to segue into the front office and into an ownership role. Only Glenn Taylor reneged on that. With Glenn Taylor reneging on that, Ox, you know how it is. When we got a deal and you renege on it, I'm out on you. You and me don't have any more communication. We don't talk about anything else, especially if we got a deal as grown-ups. Like this isn't something that's like a handshake. No, we had a deal, Ox.
Right.
You told me that if I do this, that you will have a stake in ownership, only to take that off the table. And after everything that Kevin Garnett had done for this organization, for that to be what it is, it was completely and utterly disrespectful to how he was treated. And this happened over 10 years ago, Ox. I believe this. I believe this is the 10th year when he retired in the 15-16 season. He hasn't been up there since then. His jersey still doesn't hang from the rafters. I'm on record saying it should be a statue of him outside the arena. That's what he meant.
Absolutely.
That's what he meant to the Minnesota Timberwolves organization. Best power, not just the best power forward they've ever had, best player that they've ever had. And the fact that they are now bringing him back, it just almost seemed, not almost, it just seems right. Like what was going on in the past, all of the stuff that we were talking about with Kevin Garnett, with him being in Boston, with him playing with Paul Pierce. Just completely forget about the other 13 years that he played in Minnesota and all the things that he did up there, being an all-star, being an all-pro, being a league MVP, taking that team, dragging those teams, if I'm being honest with you, dragging those teams to the playoffs. Because we actually, excuse me, on playback, we did a game, I believe it was Minnesota San Antonio in '98. And this is Kevin Garnett's year 3. We were watching that game, and it just brought back memories that I'm watching them, and I'm thinking to myself, I didn't realize how bad they were. Like Kevin Garnett was dragging those teams to the playoffs, dragging bad teams to the playoffs in a nightmare of a Western Conference during that time. And to now have him back, it just seems like this is the way it always should have been. This isn't a situation with Kevin Garnett where, well, we're welcoming him back. He should have never left in the first place. No.
Right.
And I think that they did him dirty. And the fact that this is now going on, I'm very happy about it.
So do you know any details about what the deal was with Taylor and with KG and everything? Like, do you know, were they offering them like some type of like minority ownership stake? Was it like just not just but was it a front office job on a coaching staff? Like, do you know like any particulars about that deal?
Well, what he's doing right now, being involved in community affairs, being involved in a lot of the off-court stuff, add a minority ownership stake in with what's going on with all of that stuff right now. That was the deal. And that's why Garnett came back. He didn't come back to Minnesota solely to help Cat. He came back because he was offered this partnership. Yo, you come back, we're gonna cut you in on ownership. I think it was I think it was definitely more of what Jay-Z was like. What Jay-Z was doing, like a 1%. No, it was way more than that. From what Kevin Garnett was doing, what he would have been doing. And on top of that, what we got going on right now with him being a part of community affairs, being in the front office in Minnesota, that's what was going on before this whole thing happened. And they reneged on the deal. And because they reneged on the deal, he was out.
You know, Chill, it's one thing to say, hey man, if this team wins, I got the pizza tonight, and then being like, oh damn, I forgot my wallet. You know, can you grab it? Like that's one thing, but you crawfish on a deal like this, Chill. This serious. And
we got a deal.
Yeah, I understand.
I can make up pizza. I'll get you the next night. I can make up pizza. So we play on Tuesday. We play on Thursday night. Ox, I promise you, not only do I got pizza on Thursday, I got double pizza on Thursday. If we got a deal where I'm cutting you in on what I got going on in terms of ownership, especially after everything that you've done for this franchise. And if anybody knows anything about the Minnesota Timberwolves, they were an expansion team. When they got Garnett in '95, he was the face of everything that they were doing. Not only was he the face of everything that they were doing, he absolutely was worth the price of admission. It wasn't like they put him to the forefront and said, okay, this is the guy that we want to be the face of our franchise, and he wasn't worth the price of admission. There's a reason why they called him the big ticket, because he was worth the price of admission. 100% he was. So with that being said, for everything that he had done up there, dragging those teams to the playoffs, going deep into the playoffs, winning the league MVP, and to now later on in his career after he left, which, by the way, Ox, he didn't want to get traded, right? He didn't want to get traded when Boston traded for him. They actually sweetened the deal, and he had to waive his no trade clause because Minnesota was in a better position at that time. Then they were in a better position at that time than the Boston Celtics when they ended up trading for Ray Allen, in addition to having Rondo, in addition to having Paul Pierce. Okay, now Kevin Garnett said, all right, I'll do it, because, he was tired of losing and he was up there for 12 years at that point. I do understand that part. But to bring him back into a bad team, and we know that this is the end of Kevin Garnett's career, and to bring him back and to basically tell everybody that we're welcoming him back, and he's under the impression, because, again, he's been there for so long, that this is a square deal. Like, this isn't a deal where this is just lip service. I've been here for as long as I've been here, and nobody reneging on this deal, only to have them renege on the deal. It was unfortunate for that to happen.
That's insane.
Yes, it was.
And so don't forget, y'all, with being a part of the Timberwolves, in this it says obviously it's the reunited with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Lynx. You got to remember the Lynx are a franchise up there too, and they've had much success. So I'm not sure what that means, how much involvement he'll have with them. But shout out to the new ownership. Shout out to Alex Rodriguez and all his business partners. If you guys remember, in those early 2000s, there was a handful of guys that were at the forefront of sports in America. You had Tiger Woods, you had Kevin Garnett, you had Kobe Bryant, you had
Shaq.
Of course, Shaq. But there was a group of guys that were just making all the money and just doing big things. Tiger Woods and Derek Jeter. There was a big group of those guys. So I'm sure there's a big respect between Alex Rodriguez and Kevin Garnett. So
absolutely.
Shout out to them for doing the right thing and getting it done. As you know, Kevin Garnett is my favorite player of all time, and it's good to see him get treated the right way. So in other news, do you have anything else on that topic?
No, I'm just happy that Garnett is getting back where he belongs. To be quite honest with you, to be honest with you, Ox, I was really getting fed up with the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett thing. I really was, and the reason why I was getting fed up with it because I understand that he won up there in Boston, and they did some amazing things, but like everybody, they completely forget what he was doing when he was in Minnesota.
Right.
And
right.
We can't erase that. That doesn't just go away. No, he's the best player that they've ever had up there. So,
and Chill, and obviously I don't mean any disrespect when I say this. I don't mean it's any disrespect to any listeners or content creators. But as you know, Chill, the youngsters are kind of running the show. As far as who's pushing out the stuff, and a lot of the youngsters they don't know. With all due respect to them, and that's okay because a lot of these guys were born in 2002, 2003. We were around in 04, 03, 02, 01. And Kevin Garnett was the man before he got to Boston.
By the way, before he got up there,
before the Defensive Player of the Year in 2008. You know what I mean? So. And there's a lot, and with that being said, too, there's a lot of youngsters that do know. I'm just saying, some people don't. But shout out to him. And some people don't know that Kevin Garnett got left stranded in Minnesota.
By the way,
some people don't know they had a good thing going, and somebody got too cold.
Yeah,
and got too cold and wanted to go to New Jersey. By the way, where it's also cold.
He did leave him out there. He did leave him out there to dry. Yes, he did hang him out there to dry. He 100% did that, Ox, no doubt. Yes, he did.
Yeah, but we do got some other news going on with another all-time great power forward, Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's been a lot of trade rumors, and we told y'all we'd keep our eyes on that and report to you as soon as we find out anything. Giannis wants to let y'all know that as far as that goes, if his agent, Giannis says, if my agent is talking to the Bucks about it, he can have any conversation he wants. I personally have not had the conversation with the Bucks. I just want to start by saying this. That just sounds bogus. I'll call it what it is. Bogus. It's bogus. In the world of business, Chill, if I'm your agent, you've given me the authority to speak for you. You've basically given me the rights to speak for you. If I'm saying we want to be traded, Chill, you're saying we want to be traded.
Yes,
Giannis is trying. Giannis is, pardon the pun, he is trying to pass the buck.
Let's call it what it is.
He's trying to keep the heat off himself and Chill. I, for one, am sick of it. I'm tired of it. Giannis has been trying to play this golden boy role for so long. It's about time. It's about time for him to just step up and stand up and say, you know what? This is what I want to do. I'm tired of it. So what's going on here in Milwaukee?
Well, you just said it yourself, Ox. As my agent, let's be clear. Your agent doesn't represent him. He's not speaking on behalf of him. He's speaking on behalf of you. He's not saying things that are representative of him. Like, I want to be traded out of Milwaukee. I want to leave Milwaukee. When he comes to the negotiation table and he's negotiating the contract, he's not negotiating the contract for him. He's negotiating the contract for you to allow him to get paid. He is representing you. So I say that to say what I've said to you the whole time, Ox, if your man wants to break you and her up, after a while, you start hearing it 200-300 times. You start thinking, you know what? Maybe we should break up. Maybe this thing ain't working here between us. Even though it was working a little while ago, but the third eye, which is your man, he's telling you time and time again, yo, she ain't it. She's not it. You need to look in a different direction. You hear that 200 times. You start thinking, well, you know what? Maybe you might be right. But then I'm going to pass the buck off to my man. You know, my man is the one who he the one getting phone numbers from other girls. I'm not at the club. I ain't doing that. He the one who got Alice, Mary, and Jane calling my house. I ain't the one who looking for her. Meanwhile, I am the one accepting phone calls, by the way. I'm 100% doing that. So Giannis first got to Milwaukee. He was 18 years old. He was greener than a dollar bill. He didn't know his ass from his elbow. He's been there his entire career, and he wants to stay there. But in the world of business, and sometimes things run their course. I don't particularly want Giannis to get traded, but unfortunately, sometimes things run their course. And it seems like we're coming up on that time in Milwaukee where this thing has run its course, and it may be time to move on. Maybe. I'm not saying that it is, but it may be time to move on. And then in some situations, there may be somebody who has to push that on you because you might be in a situation where you just don't see it. Like, you know, I'm good here, where you're living in a space where, you know what, my space is dope. Meanwhile, somebody comes in and goes, yo, you a star. What you doing living here? You should be living somewhere else. And you hear that enough times. I'll give you a prime example, Ox. I remember when Wade won the Finals MVP, and he was living in Plantation at the time. I remember Shaq telling the story that Shaq came to his house and looked around like, Flash, you a star, yo. What you doing living here? And Flash was like, you know what? I think you're right. We up out of here. I need a bigger spot. I should be somewhere where it's nicer. Well, right. I think the same logic goes with Giannis, because you've been adamant about this, about them wasting his years. And I feel like we're in a space now with Giannis, 31 years old. I think I can get 3, maybe 4 more. I think I can get 3, maybe 4 more years of elite Giannis before he really starts to slow down. Well, the last thing that I want to do is waste those years on a subpar team. I don't want to do that, right? But I also don't want to see him get ran out of there when he doesn't want to. But we have to accept the fact that, sometimes breakups, Ox, they could get ugly. They unfortunately can. And in this particular situation, because he's been there so long and he really doesn't want to leave, but it may be time for him to go, I think this thing could get ugly, and he doesn't want it to be on him. I don't think he wants this to be on him that he's asking out, when in reality, it may be time.
Yeah, chill. I'm first selling high on these type of superstars because I think it's better for everybody. It's the same thing I was saying about Steph a few years ago. And obviously, people were saying, "Oh, it's just because you're a Kings fan, you're tired of the Warriors winning."
They thought you were ridiculous when you said that, Ox. Just so you know.
Yeah, obviously, yes, I'm a Kings fan, but I'm talking about basketball. It's like you have Steph Curry, and the Warriors have done great for his career.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in the position to win anymore. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, why waste his twilight years when he could go somewhere and compete again? And then you guys could also bring in maybe another 1 or 2 young stars, 3 or 4 first-round draft picks. Rebuild your franchise. Don't let these guys go off and you pay them, because you're gonna have to pay them big money until they're gone. Pay them big money until they're gone. Once they leave, your franchise is in the hole. You don't have any high draft picks. You don't have any young stars. Now you got to wait 5-6 years to be in contention again. I think that's ridiculous. I just think people are a little too sentimental about it. You know what I mean? Why? Like in the Giannis situation, you see what this team looks like. They're going to be paying Dame for what, 5-6 more years?
5 more years.
5. They're paying Dame. He's not even. Not only is he not playing in Milwaukee, he's not even playing out in Portland.
Yeah, he ain't even there.
You know what I mean? So and then what? Now, yeah, Ryan Rollins is a good player, but we all know he's not a franchise guy. We know what's going on. Like they're not in a great position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why not? Why be sentimental about it? Why hold on to it? If you're either one of them, Giannis or the franchise, let's part ways. I'll go somewhere where I can compete. You guys can start your rebuild process right now. You know, I don't. It's not about hating on the team. It's about doing what I think is logical. That's my mindset. Let's do
Well,
what's
Ox,
logical.
what it sounds like when you talked about Curry is it sounded like we starting over, and isn't that what teams do when stars get old? But not only when stars get old, but in the words of the great Bill Walsh, I'd rather get rid of you a year too early than a year too late.
Right.
And we could definitely have gotten. I personally thought 2 years ago, I was like, it's going to come a time when Curry is going to demand out. That's how bad this group is going to be. That's what I thought. But I think that we're in a space now. I think that we're in a space now to your point where we have to look at this Milwaukee Bucks team and figure out, all right, if we're starting over, how are we starting over?
Right.
Milwaukee is not a hot spot for free agents. We all know that. Milwaukee is not a place that free agents are coming to basically build a championship team. It's not Miami, it's not New York, it's not Los Angeles. Okay, sure. It's not that. However, if I'm going to if I'm going to build something here, I got to build it with draft picks. And Milwaukee has shown throughout the course of their career, throughout the course of time, that they've been good at trading, they've been good at drafting, they've been and they've been good at bagging guys like that. All right, well, if we got to start over, I got to start over with draft picks because again, I'm not getting anybody in free agency. This free agent class, nobody's coming to Milwaukee. So this is a draft that this draft here is a draft that's supposed to be really good. So if that's the case, then I might want to get as many draft picks as I possibly can. So you and I have already talked about this, Ox. I am calling up Oklahoma City, and I want to know how many of those draft picks are you interested in giving up? That's what I want to know. Not how many draft picks I can get. How many of them are you interested in giving up? Because I'll take all of them. For Giannis, I will take as many as you can possibly give me. You want to give me 5, and I'll throw somebody else in, and a part of that trade, you want to give me 2 more? Yes, I'll take all of those draft picks because I'm in a space with Giannis, whose name is on the moniker. I got to take that name down now. And again, Milwaukee, it ain't much going on in January. It ain't much going on in December in Milwaukee. It's cold. So with that being said, I got to start over. And I got to start over by hitting in the draft. This is one of those drafts in the 26th draft where I feel like I can start that. So, I mean, I say that to say, yes, I need some draft picks. So
here, give up that Clippers pick, OKC.
Hand it over. Hand it over.
I mean, most franchises, not a lot, most franchises, the majority of franchises, I'd say 95% of franchises aren't as fortunate as say the 49ers.
Sure.
Most people, chill. Most people don't go from Joe Montana to Steve Young.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean? It takes, you usually you get a guy like that, it takes some time to get another one. And to your point, Milwaukee has done a pretty good job. I mean, they got Jabari, they got Giannis, they got Chris Middleton. I mean, they've done.
They went from Bledsoe to Drew Holiday. I mean, it's been working. Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely been working, no doubt about that. But right. I feel like with this Milwaukee team, if we're starting over, we have to get as much draft capital as possible. And the first team that I'm calling up, and I know that this sounds ridiculous because of who they are and what they just did, but the team that has the most draft capital is the Oklahoma City Thunder. I am 100% getting them on line one, and I want to find out how many of those draft picks are they willing to give up? Not how many do I want. How many are they willing to give up? Because I'll take all of them. I promise you that. When it comes to Giannis, I'll take all.
Excuse me.
If Mikal Bridges went for 5 ones, I'll throw some other guys in, and we can separate. We can separate some trades where I'll throw Ryan Rollins in, or I'll throw Kuzma in, and I'll see if I can get another pick from that. Because I'm getting 5 for Giannis minimum.
Gotcha.
Right? I'm getting 5 for Giannis. Then I'll throw another guy in. Give me another one, and give me another. Give me another one and give me another second. I'm 100% doing that. Yes.
Giannis is going over here. Miles Turner going over there.
Yes.
Who's going there? Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the only thing I will say about that is it seems like with Giannis already kind of trying to pass the buck on the whole trade situation, he seems like he doesn't want to be lumped into that LeBron, the GM thing or the Kevin Durant thing. So I would highly doubt that he would want to go to OKC. I mean, he doesn't have a no trade clause, but if I can assume that Giannis would tell him, like, come on, man, like, don't do this to me. Like, send me somewhere good, but not OKC. That's just an assumption I have, of course.
Which is fair. And it is fair, Ox, but we're in a position where you have to accept the fact that this is probably going to get ugly before it gets prettier.
Yeah, for sure.
So because of that, I mean, we got to get what we can get when we can get it.
Right. We do got some folks in the lobby. We're gonna get to you guys. Before we do that, I just want to have a quick, brief conversation. I know it's not basketball related, but hey, we do things a little unorthodox. Did you watch on Netflix last night Jake Paul get in the ring with Anthony Joshua?
You know what's interesting, Ox? It's interesting. Like this is me and Jaron Collins, right? Jaron Collins, who used to play at Stanford, both him and his brother Jason. We used to work out together. And in the summertime in 2002, we were at the track and we were watching the track team. And Jason was watching them run, and he was like, "Damn, how they do that?" And I said to Jason, I said, "Big fella, we run. Those are runners. Those two things ain't the same thing. It's different when you actually get in the ring with an actual boxer, as opposed to a dude who can fight. Like, you've been in the ring with dudes who can fight.
Right.
When you get in the ring with a professional and an actual boxer, you see what the difference is. And we saw what the difference was last night. Joshua was looking at this dude like, I really could have dropped him a long time ago, but okay, fine. And when he hit him with that right cross in his jaw, it was obvious. It was obvious that he was like, I don't know what the hell I thought I was thinking getting in the ring with this dude. I don't know.
I don't think he ever been hit that hard before.
He was like, holy shit, what the hell was I doing getting in the ring with this dude? This was not a good idea at all.
I know people are saying, oh, he just ran around for a while. Well, what you want him to do? You want him to stand in the middle of the ring and go toe-to-toe with Anthony Joshua? I'm not mad at Jake Paul at all. Chill. I got nothing but respect for Jake Paul getting in that ring last night. I don't care what nobody says about it. Oh, it's a gimmick. It's a joke. It's fake. So? He's disrespecting the game. I have nothing but respect for Jake Paul getting in that ring with Anthony Joshua last night. I don't care what nobody says. He could have died last night. And y'all up here talking down on that. That man put his life on the line. Now I know he got paid for it, but that was the point. Hey, shout out to Jake Paul.
He broke his jaw, yo. Do y'all know that? He literally broke dude's jaw. And by the way, he did it in the 8th round, which means that he was running from him. He was playing around with him. Like, I could have really hurt this dude real bad. Right. I could have really hurt this dude real bad. I could have did that and more a while ago. The reason why I'm saying that, Ox, is because I'm looking at Jake Paul's face when Joshua hit him with that right cross and he fell. He was on the ground like, whoa. It was like his life flashed in front of his eyes. Like, do I still want to do this? Is this something that I really want to consider doing? Because just so you know, it's different getting in the ring with boxers than getting in the ring with dudes who can fight. That dude you got in the ring with last night, that's a boxer.
Yeah, it's not the same thing at all. Once again, I don't care what anybody says. I got nothing but respect for Jake Paul getting in that ring. It was a big ring to give him a chance to move around a bit, but I mean that's how it has to happen. You got to have some handicaps. If you're 6'1", 215, you get in the ring with a 6'6", 250 monster. Yeah, I need something to go my way. Let me get a bigger ring. Let me run around a little bit.
Shortens the ring. He 100 like you could run, but when you running around with a dude that big who is a boxer who knows how to close the ring like he did, who knows how to cut off angles. So when you're trying to run, you're like, damn, I can't run too far because he knows how to cut off angles and he knows how to get me in the space where he needs me to be. Like when he got his ass in that corner and I can't. Number one, I can't cover up. Number two, he's got a longer reach than me, so I can't get close to him neither. So when I try to get close to him, I get bopped with I get popped with that jab. So
in that first, because when he was running around, moving around those first 2 rounds, I wasn't mad at it. I'm like, do your thing. He stuck a couple jabs in there, move around, get out of there. When it got to that 4th, 5th round, he started getting hit. I was like, oh God. Oh man. Shout out to Jake Paul, like I said. But let's get to the lobby, chill. Let's see what the people got for us. I got a Hall of Famer in the lobby. My man,
What up?
Speaking of killing people in the ring, chill.
Yeah, what up?
What's up,
guys?
fam?
I have a question. I'm a little curious about with Chill. I'd like some clarification on. So, if I'm not wrong, you think Jerry West is a better player than he is a point guard? Is that a correct
Is he a
observation?
better player than he is a point guard?
Like I remember your point
I
guard.
think that I think there's a difference between a guy. You could be a better player than somebody, but somebody could play the position better than you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I think
I do think that. Yes.
Yeah. Is
like
that,
I think Steph Curry is a better player than John Stockton. I think John Stockton is a better lead guard than Steph Curry.
okay, but you still ranked Curry above.
Curry is definitely a better player than John Stockton, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Also, when you did the Mars Talk Sport top 10, you had Curry above Stockton, right?
I'm actually taking Curry out of my.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking Curry out of my point guard list because I don't think he's a lead guard. No, I put him in the same space with Jerry West and James Harden, Allen Iverson. I put him in that space.
Is a lot of your issue with Jerry West, does it stem from you feeling like he didn't give Chamberlain the ball enough? Is that?
Yeah, I think that definitely Chamberlain should have been involved more than he was. I mean, Game 7 of the 69 finals when they played against the Celtics, I mean, Chamberlain only missed one shot. He went 9 for 10 from the floor. Jerry West, I think in that series, he averaged 23 or 24 shots to Chamberlain's like 11, something like that.
But I think there's a lot of reports out there saying that that's actually more because Wilt just didn't want to shoot because he was in the, like Mars would say, not shooting gimmick, but like literally because he wanted to have a high field goal percentage.
Do you believe that though? Like, I want you to think. I want you to think about that for a second. This is a guy who averaged 30 a game for his career. A guy who averaged 30. Not only did he average 30 a game for his career, for having the field goal percentage that he had. I mean, for a guy to only miss one shot, you think he doesn't want to shoot because he's afraid to go to the free throw line? Nah, I ain't buying that.
No, it's not because I don't think I do believe the reports. I've read some of them as well, and I also believe it because it is widely known that Wilt would chase stats. You know, early in his career when he had the 50 points, he was maybe one of the worst passers ever, like in that season. And then later he would lead the league in not assists per game, but total assists.
Well, he wasn't he wasn't a bad passer. He was just an unwilling. Those two things are not the same thing.
Yeah,
right? It's the difference between being a bad passer and a guy like Andre Drummond can't pass.
I agree with that more.
Right.
I agree.
But
like
between being an unwilling, like Chamberlain, he was the bucket getter, right? And the reason why he became what he became in terms of being a distributor in Philadelphia was because they said he didn't pass. Oh, you don't think I can pass? There's a difference.
So now he started doing it.
Okay, there's a difference between me not being able to pass and you don't think I can pass. Okay, well, I'll show you. I'll show you that I can play. He used to play for the Globetrotters. I mean, that was his thing.
But I think, do you not feel like that's a bit of an issue with Wilt? If it seems like he's motivated by things that doesn't, like he sacrifices trying to win because he wants to either high points per game, high field goal, like have like 80% field goal percentage or lead the league in total assists. Like, do you understand where some people may have an issue with Chamberlain for this?
Well, he was doing that anyway, though. So even if he wasn't shooting the basketball because of his quote unquote field goal percentage scares, he still was getting the basketball around the rim and scoring at a high clip. So it wasn't like, he was turning down shots on a perimeter.
He was doing that?
One more time.
In 69, did you think he was doing that?
No, I didn't think he was doing that. I didn't think he got the ball nearly as much as he should have. When a guy shoots the ball 10 times in a game where he played almost the whole game and only missed one shot, and I'm thinking, why is he only getting one shot? This is the guy who played around the rim. This is not Chamberlain turning down mid-range shots. This is not Chamberlain turning down threes. This is a guy getting the ball around the rim where he is the most effective, where he also dominates a guy like Bill Russell. Like I said, he averaged 30 and 30 against Bill Russell. So with that being said,
actually, I think that's wildly unfair to say you dominate someone when you're worse against them than you are against everyone else.
Well, when you're talking about the best defensive player in the game, and I'm averaging 30 and 30, nobody else.
You just say 30 and 30. You have to compare it to something. Like you're just saying 30 and 30.
That's what I'm saying. There's nothing to compare it to because nobody else did that against him. Like, nobody.
What did Will do versus everyone else?
I think
34 on like way worse true shooting.
Well, when you're going up against I feel like when you're going up against the best defensive player in the game, and on top of going up against the best defensive player in the game, you outplay him, but in the end, the other guys end up getting shut down. I think that's difficult.
But
I think that's
I would
difficult
say
on Will.
he didn't really outplay him on the outside of that, like 67, 66, 68, because he was taking so many shots and was that black hole. I think a lot of people would say that Bill Russell actually outplayed him for a lot of the series.
Bill Russell outplayed him for a lot of what series?
And also, like you'd say, winning is the separator.
68.
Winning is the separator.
68. Well, the winning is the separator, but the fact that he was the only one to beat Bill Russell, and the fact that he was the only one to have the winning that he had when they did it. I mean, they were the all-time winning his team when they did it in 72, and the fact that they were the only team to beat the Celtics in the 60s. In the 60s, that holds a tremendous amount of volume for me. In 68, when they were up 3-1 on the Celtics and ended up losing, I do have a problem with that 100% because I feel like Bill Russell did. I feel like Bill Russell did do a really good job. But when we're talking about in the early 60s, no. Chamberlain was destroying
my last point would just be if your GOAT case is that you beat me one time in a whole decade, shouldn't that say something? Like you beat me one time in the whole decade, and every other year I win the championship. I feel like that says more about me than it does about you.
Actually, it doesn't. You know why? Who else beat you?
No one. So I got 9 and you get 1.
It is, and everybody else got 0.
Yeah, and I get 9. So compared to
you can have 20. You can have 20. The difference is that nobody else beat you. I'm the only one who beat you. On top
so
of
you're better than all
I
of them,
did.
and I'm better than you.
No, I'm better than you too because I did beat you
one time, and I beat you
I
the
still
other
beat
time.
you though. I still beat you.
You won. I beat you 9. I beat you 9 times.
You did. Yes, you did. And I beat you
But
one time.
Who was a better basketball player?
Chamberlain.
Russell for like 8 out of 10 years.
Russell. I don't think Russell was ever better than Chamberlain. Ever. I think he was. I think
early 60s Russell was better because Will was a black hole. But all right, that was all I wanted to say. Chill. Have a good one.
Later.
All right, man. All right.
Yes, sir.
Good conversation there. Good conversation. Who we got next? Oh, we got my man, Big Fan Breezy. What's up, Breeze?
Yo, enjoying the show. Y'all funny as hell. You talk about that fight last night. I agree with Chill about OKC and the Bucks. They came to the Barclays. We beat them by 45. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have Giannis though. But that's to your point. Without Giannis, they trash. And your boy Miles Turner, he tried to get up there and say it's a trap game. He tried to give it excuse. They got their ass whooped. You Chill. Did you seen? I know you know LOB from the Seattle Seahawks. Remember Richard Sherman? And he said, "Don't ever try me with no sorry ass receiver like Crabtree. That's what you get. That's what he get for coming to the Barclays."
They got smoked too, by the way. Man, I'm not saying that they lost. They got smoked. Like you can't get in a trap. You can't tell me that you're in a trap game and lose by 40. No, hell no. No way.
Right.
I mean, you could get in a trap game and you ended up overlooking them, and now you find yourself in a dogfight at the end. Like, oh shit, yo, this is a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. To get stomped by 40, that wasn't a trap game. They whooped your ass straight up and straight down.
Word, but I pulled up to have a conversation. 2 things I wanted to have the conversation, but I know I don't have time, but I want to mention it. You was just talking about the centers, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain. So I just wanted to hear you and Ox or y'all on the panel whenever y'all get a chance, talking about how dominant the centers are then and talking about how the modern centers are point centers and just contrasting the dominant centers back then and to how the transition of point centers now. But I that's what I want to hear y'all talk about, and I'll jump in the chat for that. But what I pulled up to say is, I wanted to hear you because I remember every time I talked to Chill about basketball, he'd be like, yo, I think it was the 2014 or 2016 Spurs. He said that was his favorite team, favorite brand of basketball. I forget which one it was.
It was awesome. 14 when they won the championship that year. It was
all right. So what I'm saying is, yes, the Spurs are serious, and I think they want to keep the same thing they did from last season with the turnaround when Duncan came there, and then they were like immediately successful. And I'm saying that to the conversation of the CBA and how they got this window for the rookie scale contract, which is 4 years. I think that franchises want to win when they get high draft capital like the Spurs, they got a number 1 pick. He was a rookie of the year. Then they got a number something pick, and he was the rookie of the year. And then it's like, with all of this success in the draft, you want to be successful as a franchise in their rookie scale contract, because after that, you got to pay them the big enchilada. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
So
what it gets.
yeah, that's what I
Now,
wanted to ask.
by the
How
way,
you feel
fan,
about it?
by the way, Breezy, I did peek my head in on some Brooklyn games, and this kid Igor, he looked like he might have something.
Yeah,
he looked like he might have something. But to your point, but to your point, we have to maximize during your rookie deal. We have to maximize you during your rookie deal, because things get expensive, and they get expensive fast. And if you're in a small market, even though the reason why the CBA was put together was to not be able to create super teams, the salary cap is also in a different space where, you get into that second apron, and like what you can afford in Miami, what you can afford in New York, I might not be able to do that in Milwaukee. I might not
right.
be even with signing my draft picks, right? Even with extending my younger guys, I might not be able to sign. I might not be able to afford in Oklahoma City what you can afford in Los Angeles or in Golden State. I might not be able to do that. So I got to get everything that I can right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's why the Knicks, not the, always pun the Knicks, but I think that's why they lost, because they couldn't sign Hartenstein. They did that deal with OG. Now they don't got somebody like Hartenstein to help them out. And, it was unfortunate for them. But yeah, no, I again, shout to Big Ox, shout to Chill. Y'all already know I love the show. I'm going to be in the chat, y'all.
Good to talk to you, brother.
All right, Breeze.
Yeah, things get expensive, Ox, and they get expensive fast when you're in small markets, man. They do. They get expensive real fast. A place like Sacramento, if you drafting well, and you got your young guys, we got to maximize them. We have to.
Sacramento drafting well.
That doesn't even sound right for me to say that.
That's crazy. That's hilarious. Let me see. We got a couple more people in the lobby. Let's just keep getting to them.
Yeah.
Yo, Tex, what up?
What up? Nope. We had him and then we didn't.
Marcus, what up?
What up?
What up? What up?
What up?
Man, y'all already know why I'm here. If you watched the game yesterday. But to start off, BJ Edgecombe straight boxed up Jalen Brunson yesterday. If y'all did watch that game, I don't know if y'all did, but he straight up boxed him up the entire game. He didn't fall for his pump fakes, none of his up fakes, none of his foul baiting, none of his grifting, none of that. He just straight boxed him up. But going on to the Wolves versus Thunder game, did y'all watch that game?
I did watch it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a great game.
I think the adjustment was early on in the game. I didn't like Julius Randle and J-Dub. I thought
Julius Randle was ass.
He was kicking his ass early. When y'all made the adjustment, when Coach made the adjustment after Coach Finch got tossed, he made the adjustment to put
Nas Reed.
No, not Nas Reed. Your wing guy. What is your
Jaden?
Wing guy? Jaden McDaniels.
Jaden.
When you took Jaden McDaniels and put him on J-Dub, we shut the door on all of that, because he was getting busy early. I thought that was a huge adjustment. I thought that was a big time adjustment, no doubt. And I also liked the fact that the third quarter, I thought, even in the meat and potatoes of the game, like what you saw with Ant coming up with big stops, I thought the third quarter was the game. And the reason why I thought the third quarter was the game is because I felt like that's when OKC was throwing haymakers at you to try to get separation. And the fact that you guys stayed in there, I thought the rebounding from Rudy and I thought the rebounding from Julius Randle, particularly on the offensive glass, I thought that was a big deal, no doubt. And I don't think it's the formula, but I do think it's part of the formula. If you're going to play against Oklahoma City, you got to get on that offensive glass, because you're not going to get a lot of quality shots. That's why I think Houston going to be trouble for Oklahoma City when they see them.
Yeah, that's what Coach was saying. Well, the assistant coach was saying that to beat OKC, you got to win the possession battle. You know what I'm saying? You got to get yourself like second chance points. You got to try to get on the glass. I love when Rudy, even if he wasn't grabbing the rebound, he was tapping it out to dudes on the perimeter so they can get the board. Then, we can get another shot up. That's how we got 29 second chance points, was because of all of those, all of those efforts. But going to Ant with that last like 45 seconds. I know a lot of people thought the game was over. I know a lot of people thought the game was over. He hit a very, very, very difficult three over the best guard
Lou
defender
Dort had
in
him
the
boxed
NBA.
up. Lou Dort did have him boxed up.
No, he didn't. That's a lie.
Yes, he did. He had
No,
him
he
boxed
didn't.
up.
He was scoring mid-range versus mid-range versus mid-range all day
Nah,
long versus Lou Dort. I don't want to hear that. And
that
then
is not true. That's not
he
at
you
all.
didn't? He
Mm-mm.
wasn't hitting mid-range jump shots over him? Are you
He
serious?
was hitting mid-range. I'm talking about at the end of that game, with the exception of that three, Lou Dort had him boxed up. Yes, he did.
That was Casey Wallace that was on and it wasn't Lou Dort.
I'm pretty confident that I saw Lou Dort on him. And
Go rewatch it. It was Casey Wallace.
I ain't talking about the three that he hit on him. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about 2 plays before that. When we
Yeah.
Lou Dort was covering him, and Lou Dort had him boxed up.
It was at the nail. He had him boxed up on that possession. But yeah, man, like with Ant locking up Shea, this is why I love Ant so much, is because in the meat and potatoes of the game, when it's time to win the game, he will guard the best player every single time. We've seen it time and time again. We've seen it with Jamal Murray. Even in a couple seasons ago, we've seen him, guard Jason Tatum. He will always take those matchups. You just got to love him for it. Like, I know Ox was talking about Wemby the other day, that they ain't scared of, like they ain't just like buddy with these people on the court. And he mentioned Ant in that too. Like that was a statement win for us. Like I feel like we needed that win because we never had like a statement win this season, like a great win like that. So hopefully this like propels us to.
I think 3-9. I think you all think 3-9 against
Yeah, we 3-9. We blew some games too, but hopefully hopefully this game propels us to like go on a bigger streak. We beat OKC, even on the back-to-back. I don't want to use that as an excuse. We can run up the score. We can go on the streak real quick. We can beat anybody right now. But yeah,
we're gonna find out.
Right.
We're gonna find out. All right, brother. Good to talk to you.
All right, Marcus.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tex, you said you got your mic fixed. Let's see what's up. You there, Tex?
What up? Nope. Still can't hear him. Sorry, brother.
All right, but we got to keep it moving. If you stick around, we'll get back in a few. We got some topics to get to. Chill, before we get into anything else, let's just talk about the title. Let's talk about the title topic.
Yep.
How serious are the San Antonio Spurs?
I think that
they got a young roster. They got a talented young roster. Obviously, they got Victor Wembanyama, a guy that some people think is one of the 5 best players in the league. Not only how talented, how serious are the Spurs, are they a threat to anybody as far as contenders go, meaning the Nuggets, the Thunder, those people?
I think what we do, Ox, is when we see a player that's as good as Wemby, the first thing that we do is we overlook the rest of the group. And we just focus on that dude specifically. And I think that this San Antonio Spurs team, I think that they're serious about becoming championship contenders. I think they're serious about that. I don't think they're there yet, but I definitely think that they're serious about becoming championship contenders. When I watch these guys, like we talk as much as we talk about Wemby in terms of him being a defender, we don't talk nearly as much about the perimeter defense of the San Antonio Spurs. How Devin Vassell, how Stephon Castle, how De'Aaron Fox, how these dudes compete on the perimeter, on defense, how they cause havoc. Not only that, how Luke Cornett, one of the biggest additions in the offseason to come down to San Antonio, how he is on the glass, not just on the offensive end of the glass, but on the defensive end of the glass, how big he is for that group. When I'm watching this team, they are serious on both sides of the basketball. I was on record saying that I feel like De'Aaron Fox is one of the best guard defenders in the game. I still feel like he's elite. And I'm not backing off that. I'm standing on that. I think De'Aaron Fox is elite at the guard position on defense. I think he does a great job in fighting around screens. And I think that not only does he do a great job in fighting around screens and navigating screens, I think that he's a great on-ball defender. And with that being said, I think that resonates throughout the rest of the crew. I think guys
you have no reason not to think he's an elite defender. When you think he's an elite defender, that just makes me assume that you actually watch him play basketball.
I do watch him play basketball, and I think that he's elite on the defensive end. I watch how busy his hands are. I watch how he navigates through screens. I watch how he fights through screens. I watch how anticipatory he is in terms of staying in front of guys and guessing. Because when you're talking about defense, a lot of this stuff is guessing, Ox, if we're being honest, especially if it's on ball. But then I feel like with his energy on defense, I feel like it resonates throughout the rest of the guys. A guy like Devin Vassell, who actually looked really good last night. Like Devin Vassell is one of those rhythm. He's one of those not rhythm scorers, but he's one of those streaky scorers. That's the word I'm looking for. And like he once he sees one go in, he'll just start going. And I think that's his game. He ended up hitting one. He ended up missing one at the top of the key, but 2 plays before that, he had made one. He missed one at the top of the key. They got the rebound. He got the ball back and shot it again. I'm not sure if he does that if he ends up missing like 2 in a row or 3 in a row. I think he would have probably gotten off the ball. On top of that, this group with Castle, he gets downhill with the best of them. I just like that they got a bunch of guys on the wing that are go-get-it guys. What it reminds me a lot of, Ox, it reminds me of this Indiana team last year where they had a bunch of guys who they could put the ball on the floor and get to the rim, a bunch of shot creators. And then you add in the fact that how good they are defensively. And Wemby, I mean, I think that he takes it to another space. In another year, maybe 2, we're going to have a different conversation about if they can stay together. We're going to have a different conversation about this San Antonio Spurs team. Yes, we are.
There's no reason for them not to stay together, too, Chill. I mean, there's 48 minutes. The only reason I can see is if somebody gets disgruntled in that guard trio of Castle, Foxy, and Harper. There's 48 minutes in the basketball game. Mitch Johnson can definitely get everybody some playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Chill, they have pretty much everything you need. And my thing is, speaking of Devin Vassell, if Devin Vassell, anytime you get good minutes from Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Harrison Barnes, that team is so hard to beat.
They are.
They're so hard to beat if those 3 guys are having good minutes. Chill. I think this team is absolutely a threat already.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't think they need to make any moves necessarily. Like obviously they can go after Giannis, they can go after Jaren Jackson, they can go after Bam, they can go after a whole bunch of different guys if they want to. I just don't necessarily. I don't think they need to.
I wouldn't touch this unit, Ox. To be honest with you, I wouldn't. I would not touch this unit. I understand from a fanfare's perspective. If you got an opportunity to get Giannis, yes, do it. It sounds like a great idea, but I like the direction that this team is going in. We had a conversation yesterday on the panel, Ox, about Kevin Durant, and I thought it was a mistake to go after Kevin Durant. And the reason why I think it was a mistake to go after Kevin Durant off the strength that if you're trying to win now, even if you are able to keep that core, those guys aren't there yet. And Kevin Durant is not going to propel them to that. If you stick with the group that you had last year, they come back better. Jalen Green, Jabari, Tari, Sengun, these guys come back better. They've had some time to develop what they're doing. I think with the San Antonio unit, I think that they got the same logic. I feel like they have the same logic where this group, with adding Foxy to the group, but with the young guys with Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Castle, Wemby. I mean, I feel like this group, I feel like they're on their way to doing something, and there's no reason to tinker with the core. Because I feel like they're on their way to doing something special. To be honest with you, I wouldn't touch it. No, I wouldn't.
Right.
I think they on to something in San Antonio. And now, Ox, what I can't do is I can't use the logic of them being young because we just saw the youngest team in NBA history win the NBA championship. So I can't use that logic, right? Maybe and the idea of them being inexperienced. Okay, sure. I can't do that. With that being said, I've seen them falter down the stretch. And it may be inexperience. I just don't think that they're there yet. I think they're close. I do. I think the San Antonio team is close. I'll give them another year, and then I think that we can really have a conversation about what's going on in San Antonio, for real one. But I think they can win a playoff series too, Ox. I do.
Right. So what do you have them right now? A second round exit?
I got them like if they ended up in the semifinals, I could see them in a 6-7 game dogfight with Denver. Right, a 6-7 game dogfight with Oklahoma City. I can see that happening. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you need luck, and I hate to call somebody's misfortune luck for you, but that's what it is in sports.
Yes,
and
that's definitely what it is.
if they end up against Denver in the second round, maybe Aaron Gordon hurts his hamstring again. Hey, worked for OKC.
That's exactly what happened with OKC. They got
Worked
lucky
for
with Aaron Gordon
OKC.
because I'm not sure if they beat. I'm not sure they beat that Denver team if Aaron Gordon is healthy. I'm not sure.
No way. No way. But yeah, I mean, shout out to the Spurs. I think they got a good thing going. I think they're young enough to be able to sit tight. I think they're young enough to sit tight and just see what happens. Well, speaking of sitting tight, Chill, we spoke about this team this week on the panel as well. What's up with the Cavs? Dropping 4 of the last 5. I know I was saying on the panel that, just hang in there, sit tight, see what happens. Is there any need for panic right now? Like in this time of trades, will we see the Cavs get involved?
I think you will, and I think that it's going to be something that is a panic, 100%, because I mean, of those 4 to 5 losses, Ox, I mean, they've given up 127 a game, in 4 of those 5 games. And yes, last night against the Bulls, they didn't have their best defensive player and they didn't have their number one scorer, but that wasn't indicative to why they lost. They lost last night. Their transition defense was terrible. Chicago Bulls got whatever they wanted whenever they wanted. Ox, you've been on the floor where you're turning your head and you're looking for your defense and you're like, where is everybody? Get back. What's going on? And that's what was going on last night with that Chicago Bulls team. They got whatever they wanted in transition. There was no pickup point. There was nobody trying to stop anybody from getting to the rim once the ball came off the glass or once the ball went through the bucket. These guys just were gone. And they got whatever they wanted. There was very little resistance. Now I can equate that, or I can point that in the direction of no Mobley, but Jared Allen was there. You guys have to be a better rebounding team. Your pickup point has to be better. That's why Lonzo Ball was there, but that didn't work last night. On top of that, you guys were able to score, but they weren't able to stop the Bulls on any level. Darius Garland showed me last night that Darius Garland can still get busy, not just as a bucket getter, but as a distributor, as a playmaker. He can take care of the basketball. He 100% has shown me that. I still need to see this group. When they're all whole and when they're together and they've played together for a specific amount of time this season. I haven't seen it, and I just don't like what I'm seeing from this group right now, Ox. And if this thing continues, this is a team that I'm looking at that could very well be like right where they are in the play-in tournament or barely making the playoffs, and it could be a first-round exit. If they don't get better at the things that they need to get better at, pickup points, for example, Darius Garland as your lead guard, he definitely needs to be better at that. I mean, the Chicago Bulls, they basically ran these dudes. Ox, from the last 3 minutes in the third quarter till the end of the game, Cleveland gave up 50 points. 50 in 15 minutes. They gave up 50 points. You're not beating anybody when you're giving up that kind of production. You're just not. We had a nip and tuck game. We go from the Bulls having 85 points to 136 in 15 minutes. They just basically ran it up. And a lot of that stuff was in transition, Ox. A lot of that stuff was in transition.
How is that even possible?
Exactly. Well, the reason why that's possible, Ox, is because you don't get back on defense. You're not communicating. You're not finding your guy in transition. Everybody is scrambling. And to be honest with you, Ox, I think that has a lot to do with coaching, because what they looked like last night was they looked like a disjointed unit. They don't look like a group that has actually went over these things. Like, who's the point of attack defender? Who's talking to who? Who's stopping who? It looks like they don't go over any of this stuff, Ox. They just look like a band of guys that were just out there. And I think that that's coaching. And I think that not only is it coaching, it's us getting together and being able to go over this stuff. And you've said this to me in the past, Ox, and yes, I'm going to say it. Coach got to be able to coach. And I got to be able to get in the guy's ass and tell him to get on the glass. I got to be able to get in the guy's ass and tell him to stop this guy. I have to be able to do that. If I can't do that, then what the hell am I doing here? Why am I coaching? I'm not just here, right? I'm not just here just to be here, right? So like this dude Thunder said, I'm sorry, Chill, but last year's Cavs was a fluke, just like the 2015 Hawks. Just so you be clear, the 2015 Hawks weren't a fluke. They just ran into the Cavs. They were better than everybody else. And I will run this down for you very quickly. Very quickly. They were 20 games over 500 against the Western Conference. They beat everybody in the Eastern Conference. They just ran into the Cavs. If they don't run into Cleveland If they don't run into Cleveland, they're in the NBA championship. That's going on. Now, everybody's going to tell me that the Warriors would have smoked them. I'm not sure about that. They were not a fluke. They just ran into the Cavs. That's the problem that was in 2015. They just ran into Cleveland. That was it.
Yeah, that's a fact. Um, Chill. Let me get to a couple of these super chats real quick.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Let me see. We got one from Eric Espinoza. Always look forward to these episodes. Love what I'm seeing with my Spurs, and I can see this team do with the 2024 Thunder, barring injury. Go Spurs, go.
Didn't the 24th Thunder there? I think they lost to Dallas in the semifinals in a dogfight. I mean, I could very well see them. Yeah, I could very well see them winning a playoff series and losing in a dogfight. Yeah, and I could very well see that and them being on to something. Yes.
So I'm curious to see this team in the playoffs. I want to know what type of carryability Victor Wembanyama has. I want to know, can Victor carry a squad through game 3, 4, 5? Like those 3 games. Can he?
That's what
can
the Stars do.
You know, can you wake up in game 3 and decide, you know what? I'm not done yet. You know, come on, bring it this way. Ride me. I got us. I want to know if Victor Wembanyama really has that in his bag. I believe he has it in his heart. I believe he has it in his mind. I believe he wants to be able to do that, and I think he's going to try to do that. I want to know, is he physically capable of shutting it down on this side of the court on the defensive end and making big plays on the offensive end, whether that's pull-up middies, whether that's offensive rebounds, whatever it may be. Can Victor Wembanyama, does he have that carryability? Chill, do you think he has that level of carryability?
I think he's just from a defensive standpoint, even though there are some holes in his game, and offensively he is very much like when I talk about Evan Mobley. There's some things with Wemby. He looks a little gangly, but I just think that he affects the game so much that they could ride him 100%. They could, and I know that some of you young kids, when you hear me say ride them, they're like, pause. No, that's what you do with your stars. You ride. That's what. I mean, in fact, your stars will tell you that. Hop on my back. Get on for the ride. I'll take us there. And I feel like I feel like Wemby, he affects the game so much on the defensive end, even though there are some holes in his game defensively, some issues with his game offensively. You know, he can get knocked off his spot a little bit. But even with that being said, he affects the game so much that 100% the stuff that he's really good at, right? The stuff that he's really good at, yes, we could definitely jump on his back. And he could take us far. Yes.
You got to have one, man. You got to be able to get up on that horse, man. Let's get going. I wonder if Victor has that. Kevin Seven says, big fan of the Spurs and KG. What would a front court of Wemby and KG look like? Defense and offense as well in current day.
KG and Wemby in the front court. Well, you got a box player in KG, but you also got, I think KG would be fantastic in pick and dive in this league today. I don't think he would be good. I think he'd be great playing in pick and dive with him and Foxy. I think that double big lineup between him and Wemby, that high-low action would be great with those two guys. And I think KG would make Wemby, I think he would make him play around the basket more because of his ability to play high-low with him. That would just be so much more effective. And defensively, I mean, KG is the ultimate glass cleaner, and you know, Wemby's the ultimate rim protector. Even though KG is a ridiculous rim protector, you know, Wemby is the ultimate rim protector. So when you put those two guys together, when you put the ultimate rim protector and the ultimate glass cleaner together, I mean, I don't think that you're going to get any negative results. Those two guys would be great together.
Yeah, I don't see how it doesn't work out.
Yeah. Ox, your mic went out.
My bad.
Yep.
Hey, it's Liam says, yo, chill. Ready for my therapy session and want your opinion and Ox's. Are y'all dropping a link? Of course we're dropping a link. In fact, I dropped the link after I seen this, and Liam popped up. What's going on, fam?
Yeah,
Yo.
Liam is a New Orleans guy. This is like therapy for my man Liam. He need this. So
I
what's up,
mean,
brother?
These are billable hours, Liam. So
Mm-hmm.
get it out quick.
I just put it on my tab if you could, makes it a lot easier on me.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wanted like y'all's opinion really on like a couple of things with the Pels recently. Mainly, do you feel like you are seeing a different team from when the year started to Willie Green being fired to now us being on a 3, possibly 4 game winning streak if we beat the Pacers tonight?
I
Because
think that
so
was a
far in the
mistake
month
too, by
of
the way. I think that was a mistake too, by the way, coming off of Willie
what,
Green.
firing
Yeah,
Willie?
I think that was a mistake coming off of him. But keep going.
I think that's fair. Realistically, I've had like time to kind of think it over, and Willie did not get a fully fair shake.
He did not.
Especially with like everyone being so hurt and not really like having the chance to kind of build with this new roster after we got Jordan Poole and DeJounte Murray still being hurt. But usually whenever like a coach comes in, if
Yep.
there's a downside to a player, you start to see that player kind of fix those downsides if they're being addressed properly.
Sure.
And the main thing that me and a lot of other fans had noticed is that in the entire time that Willie Green had been here, one of the biggest problems, especially with Herb Jones, was he's a great defender, but he's not very big, right? And that's fair. You're not looking for someone like Lou Dort size, but you're looking for like him to put on a little poundage so that he's not getting bullied by like all of these bigger people, especially with Herb Jones, who can guard the 1 through the 5.
I actually thought he did a good job
And so
in the Houston game, to be honest with you. Even when he got switched on to KD, even when he got switched on to Sengun, I thought he did a good job. I'm a fan of Herb Jones. I think the shift, to answer your question, I think the shift is happening where I noticed that Zion, it's almost like they're moving away from Zion and moving
Zion's
more.
getting phased out.
Yeah, it's looked like they're moving away from Zion and they're moving more toward Derek Queen and him being the focal point of that offense. But the thing that I wanted to talk about, Liam, is the energy of this group is changing. And the reason why the energy of this group is changing, and nobody wants to talk about it, Sadiq Bey is the difference. Sadiq Bey has been the difference in the energy in this group. He brings the toughness that they didn't have. He brings a toughness that they didn't have. He brings a professionalism that they didn't have. And now they see that, in addition to what Derek Queen and Fears are doing. That energy level from Sadiq Bey, that toughness from Sadiq Bey gives this group somewhat of an identity. And I like what I'm seeing from them. I do.
Everyone wanted to talk about like Jordan Poole being acquired in the trade, and no one brought up Sadiq Bey. And I thought that was very like disingenuous.
Well, he tore his knee up, so nobody wanted to talk about it because he had the knee injury. Don't forget, he had the ACL injury, so nobody wanted to talk about that.
Is interesting. I just found out that the injury that he got that kept him out that year, that was against us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was like the weirdest shit. Mm-hmm. But I feel like right now you are seeing the shift of everyone starting to get healthy. Mm-hmm. So this whole like idea of like the New Orleans curse and like everyone being injured, that's not a thing. Injuries happen, and we just happen to get one of the most injury-prone superstars back to back.
That's going on in Cleveland. I mean, it's not like New Orleans is the only one that's subjected to it.
Everybody. Exactly. Yeah, like everyone wanted to be like, oh no, New Orleans is like cursed. AD was injury-prone. He was injury prone throughout his tenure here and every place after. Zion is injury prone. But if you go back, CP3 wasn't injury prone. Baron Davis wasn't injury prone. Peja Stojakovic wasn't injury. Well, he had injuries, but he was getting older. David West wasn't injury prone.
I don't think AD was neither. I don't think we give AD enough credit for the amount of times that he played. He played over 80% of the time when he played in New Orleans. And that last year, he wasn't hurt. Y'all shelved him because y'all were trying to get the best deal.
It was the last couple of years. Well, no, in the last couple of years he did get, because a large reason why that playoff series between or when after we got Boogie
Yep. I think we lost.
was realized,
Still here.
okay, Boogie's not going to stay, and
Yep.
we need to get something off of AD. So we just sat him down and we were like, all right, well, we'll ship him out.
He wasn't hurt.
But now you're starting to see like our roster get healthy. You're starting to see Zion come off the bench because he's not reliable as a starter, and he's not taking.
Did we lose him?
No. Hold on. Yeah, he's not even in the lobby.
Yeah, I think we lost him. We'll see. We'll keep it moving, though. Yep, we'll keep it moving. Sorry, brother. We apologize.
Yeah, Liam, we got a few minutes. Pop back if you can, Liam. And
we'll keep
try
it
to
moving.
Get you back up towards the end of the show. Seemed like he was having some Wi-Fi issues anyway.
We'll see if we can get him back.
Yeah, man, that's okay.
Yep.
Now I was expecting a couple more seconds. Let me get back on my hosting job. Oops.
Ox wasn't ready when you called him back out here. He wasn't ready.
Oh, man. All right.
You're supposed to do some more on your set. What are you doing? Ox wasn't ready. The microphone turns on. Ox like, oh, shit, I got to get back on now. Wait a minute.
No, we good. I got this. Hey, I'm a professional, yo. I'm a professional. I got this. Damn, Liam. So that's right. MVP ladder.
Yes, sir.
We got a new MVP ladder. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all know who the top guys are. Everybody wants this to be a two-man race, chill, but Luka Doncic has something to say about that. I don't care if real talk all of a sudden doesn't like the way he plays basketball.
Sounds kind of corny.
I'm telling you right now, I almost crashed out 2 times this week because of that. All of a sudden. And you know what's even worse about it, chill? The chat. The chat is in there agreeing with him. Yeah, you're right. Luka does do this. He does do that. Like, I haven't been saying this for 3 years.
This has always been going on.
Whatever.
This is who Luka is, right? This is how Luka plays. And I mean, the stuff that Real Talk is bringing up is 100% facts, right? It's 100% fact because he does do this stuff. Only flip side to that is this is who he always been. Like I said, the example that I gave up before. Your homegirl, your chick, she just living with you now. She always left her drawers on the floor in the house. She always left dishes in the sink. She always did that, right? These were things that was always going on. You just look past it because she wasn't there long. You know, she only showed up for the weekend, or she stayed over for the night and then she went back to her spot. Now she lived with you, and now you get to see this stuff on the regular. And you're like, you know what? I ain't know that you did this. Yeah, she actually did. She did it all the time. You're just seeing it more now because you're around her longer. That's all it is.
You ain't know she leaves her lashes on the mirror and sink, and you're gonna be scared thinking it's spiders in the middle of the night.
She always was doing this.
You didn't know she leave her blow dryer and straighteners plugged in on all over the place. She didn't know these things, but now, and I tried to tell you. I tried to. But whatever,
she's always doing this. But statistically, if you look at the box score and you look at what Luka has done, I mean, yes. Luka is right. You cannot have an MVP conversation and not bring my name up. You can't do it. No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And with that being said, I mean, the MVP ladder, according to NBA.com, you got 1, Jokic, 2, SGA, 3, Luka, 4, Jalen Brunson, 5, Cade Cunningham, 6, Victor Wembanyama, 7, Jaylen Brown, 8, Alp Sengun, 9, Anthony Edwards, and wrapping it all up, 10, Tyrese Halliburton. Now, with that being said, you were talking about statistics, Chill. The past 5 games, Luka's putting up 35.6 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 8.8 assists, as well as 1.4 steals per game. I do believe that Luka Doncic has stepped up his defense this season. It wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be, but there is an improvement. I think there's an improvement in effort. There's an improvement in effort on the defensive end.
That's all I ever wanted, Ox. That's all I ever wanted from him. Whenever I talked about Luka as a defender, I wasn't looking for Drew Holiday, right? I wasn't looking for Herb Jones. I wasn't looking for Amen Thompson. No, I was not looking for
Daniels to pop up.
No, I was not looking for that dude. What I was looking for, though, is I was looking for a guy who was going to give me effort. You're not going to be a doormat, right? We're not just gonna, to your point, we're just gonna leave you down the other end of the floor because you're not helping us on defense anyway. So we're just gonna leave you down the other end of the
Shit,
floor.
that wasn't a bad idea.
The more I think about it, I'm like, you know what, Ox? Even though Ox gonna get us fired for this, he killing us, right? He killing us on defense. He's not doing anything. So we might as well just leave him down the other end. But this is all I was looking for. I was looking for a guy to compete on the defensive end. Don't just let a guy blow by you, right? If you're gonna get on the glass, if I got a behemoth like when DeAndre Ayton is dealing with Joker in the lane, if he's dealing with Sengun in the lane, how about I stick my nose in there and go help them rebound? How about I do that sort of stuff? As opposed to, I'm just adding to the bad defense by letting my guy run by me. I'm just adding to the bad defense where I'm not switching and I'm not communicating on screens. I'm just letting guys just blow by, right? Not just on ball, but off ball. I got my head turned and I'm not engaged on defense at all. Like I'm just waiting to get back to the basketball. Like that doesn't help us. And even though I think I'm seeing 35, 9, and 8 statistically, I was thinking to myself, Ox, how much better would Luka be if that 35 was, let's say, 29? How much better would Luka be if that 35 and 9 was 29, 11, and 8? Like, how much better would he be if he was involving guys a little bit more and tone down the shot selection? Because, again, this is who he is, right? This is who Luka is. Luka's always been a step back three. Luka has always been a step back three type of dude. I think he's the best scorer in the game. I still feel like that. But I felt like with his ability to score, if he toned down the bad shot selection, how much better would that make the Lakers? That's what I'm thinking in terms of him being him being more of an MVP candidate. Like people see the 35, 9, and 8 and be like, yo, he getting busy. But I can tell you right now, 35, 9, and 8, yo, 29, 12, and 9 look way different, especially if we winning. Looks way different if we winning. Way different.
I think they need Luka to score the basketball though.
100% they do. Yes, they do. And this is only a bucket or two, Ox. This isn't like I'm asking Luka to tone down and turn into, Chris Paul where it's 19 or 20 a game, right? No, I'm not saying that at all. But what would it look like if we toned down some of the bad shots and I got guys more involved than I did previous to that? So that's what I mean. And like this dude in the chat, Grumsy, like, I don't know why we have him here. I don't. Like, he's one of those guys that shows up to the bar, the drunk guy, and there's people who wonder, like, why is he here? Like, why haven't you thrown him out? Like, he shouldn't be allowed here. He should not be allowed to come in here ever. Like, you're the same dude that talks to me and tells me that I don't know basketball, but you can't even talk basketball without talking about Luka. And you think Luka's been the best player in the league since 2018. You are on drugs. There is no way that you can convince me that you are not on drugs. You 100% are on drugs. I'm convinced of that. You are definitely on drugs. To say that Luka has been the best player in the league since he showed up in 2018, you are on drugs. I don't know what kind of diesel you on, but it's that pure uncut diesel that you are on. No question about that. And for me to even entertain you, like it blows me away to think about guys who have no basketball background, none whatsoever. They have no basketball background. You don't know basketball. You tell me that you know basketball. You don't. You're a clown, yo. I'm good on you. I am. You asked me what my problem was with you. My problem was with you is you're an imposter. You come up here and you try to tell us that you know basketball and you don't. All you do is talk about how Luka is awesome, how Luka is great, how Luka is the best player in the world. You don't know anything outside of saying that. Stop talking to us, me in particular. And I'm waiting for when y'all dudes throw him out of here. I'm waiting for that because it's time for him to go. Get this dude out the club. Where the bounce is at? Get that dude out the club. Get him out of here because he shouldn't be here.
I want to get back to that Lakers thing because they are the 4th seed in the West here. They're a half a game behind the Spurs and 1 game behind Denver. So they're 1 game out the 2. 1 game out the 2 spot. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. 1 game out the 2 spot here. And I mean they've been dealing with their own injury situation throughout the season themselves. Yep. So I mean, I think the Lakers are going to be a hard out. a very, very hard out.
I think before the season started, I think I had the Lakers at 5. I thought Dallas would be a lot better than what they are. I had Oklahoma City at 1. I had Denver at 2. I had Houston at 3. I had Dallas at 4, and I had the Lakers at 5. And the Lakers are right around where I thought they were going to be, and like around 4 or 5. But they could very well get the 2 or the 3 spot. That could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they could very well get the 2 or the 3 spot. Because I think that the stuff that they have going on, I feel like it's starting to come together. I mean, DeAndre Ayton has played really good for them. DeAndre Ayton has played really good for them. That game against Phoenix, that was one of the weirdest games that I've ever seen. That's one of the most lopsided W's that I've seen. And I don't mean lopsided like they blew them out, but how the game just switched. Like we had a ball game going on, and then all of a sudden we didn't. It just was a lot of nonsense going on. And it just looked really weird. Really weird.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick, let's just recap last night, recap some of the scores, and talk about whatever needs to be talked about. The Boston Celtics do it again, taking down the Miami Heat. The Boston, man.
Yes,
Boston.
Ox. Yes, 100%. You can say it, Ox. Yes, they're a lot better. They're a lot better than people, myself in particular. They're a lot better than what I thought that they were. They're half a game out the 3 spot. Is this something that's sustainable with them? Yes, I think it's something that's sustainable. Jaylen Brown has been getting busy. Yeah, I do think it's sustainable. Barring injury, like this is the stretch right here where we're in, Ox. Like I told you that the dog days from now up until around the All-Star break is going to tell me who the Celtics are. From now up until the All-Star break, I'm going to find out who the Boston Celtics really are. I mean, because, again, you jump out the box early and you surprised a lot of teams with being able to win a lot of games. But I think that, right, I think that we're in a space with this. I feel like we're in a space with this Boston Celtic team where we're starting to figure some things out. So this stretch right here from now up until right around the trade deadline is going to tell me who the Boston Celtics really are. And last night was evidence of that. I know I sound ridiculous, but whenever I watch Khalil Ware, I see a young Jabbar. I do.
Shit.
He just looked like he just looked like a younger version, but maybe just because of how he looks, not the way he plays, but like he's the consummate big man. He does big man things. Like, can he be Jabbar good? I'm not going that far, but that's kind of who he reminds me of. Like the way he gets up and down the floor, how he is around the rim, not only how he is around the rim, just his presence on the floor. I just like everything about him. I do. And the fact that Eric Spoelstra has put him back in the starting lineup, I mean, I think that that's huge. I think that that's huge.
I think so as well. Jaylen Brown, 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Derek White, 33 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. Those two were absolutely cooking up last night. Shout out to the Celtics, man. I like I said, I thought they were going to be closer to a 7-8 seed. We'll see what happens come April. Philadelphia 76ers knock off the New York Knickerbockers.
Ox, I can tell you right now, man.
I
can tell you right now, Ox, if we're being honest, if you're going to get on the glass and you're going to rebound, I promise you, you're going to have an opportunity to win. 100% you are. And guys like Mitchell Robinson are very necessary. And I didn't say it before, and I'm saying it now. This Andre Drummond shooting threes, it is a real thing. Yes, it is. It's a thing. I'm. It might not be a consistent thing, but it's a thing. Oh, it 100% is a thing. And also, I mean, him fighting with Drummond on the glass all night, I mean, he was up for the challenge, and I loved it. But I thought that they did a great job defensively on guys like Mikal Bridges. I thought they did a great job in shooting gaps and getting guys like Jalen Brunson off balance. What I didn't like last night was I didn't like the fact that they completely phased Cat out of the offense. That's the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. Like when you're a big guy, like Ox, we got a nip-tuck game, and we got 4 straight trips where Cat doesn't touch the ball. And you as my big fella, I know for a fact that if I'm going to keep you engaged, especially when we get in the meat and potatoes of the game, I gotta at least let you touch the ball. He didn't touch the ball, and the one time he did touch it, he cracked the 3 and made it. and that's his game anyway. But I mean, I feel like that's where their offense gets stagnant, and I thought Philly did a great job in keeping that away from them. So yeah, that was a huge win.
Yeah. The San Antonio Spurs take care of the Atlanta Hawks 126-98. I didn't expect anything less.
Defensively, they were fantastic, Ox. I mean, they held them to 44 points in the first half. Basically shut the door on them. This is an Atlanta Hawk team that is in the middle of the pack offensively. I mean, they made them look less than average last night, and I thought that was largely from the perimeter. Wemby just looks weird coming off the bench, and he just looks weird sitting over there. He just does. And I understand that we're on a minutes restriction, but he just looks weird sitting over there.
Yeah,
he just
does. But they're doing their thing. I mean, they've shown before. Now, obviously, it's not the same thing because he's playing now, just less minutes. But remember when he was out, I believe they went, 10-2 or 9-3 or something.
They were
like
rolling.
That. So I mean, yeah, they know how to play without him. Let me see. The Chicago Bulls take care of the Cleveland Cavaliers. We talked about that briefly earlier. Leading scorers for the Bulls: Matas Buzelis, Nikola Vucevic. Shout out to the Bulls trying to get it back on track, but we'll see how that goes.
Transition defense was terrible last night. That was the difference in the game. Yep.
And then what most called the game of the night last night were the Oklahoma City Thunder taking their third loss of the season against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, SGA filled it up in the buckets, but ultimately Anthony Edwards was victorious in the end. We spoke about that one briefly as well.
Big time win.
Anything else you want to say about that one? Or?
Just a big time win. Yep, big time win, no doubt.
Definitely,
big time.
That's one of those
win.
games you need, especially when Coach Finch, he goes berserk the way he did in the beginning and gets tossed.
And he was right too, Ox. He was right to do that. Yes, he was right to do that. I know that you're gonna get tossed for stuff like that, but he was right because the play previous to that, Anthony Edwards had got thrown to the ground, and then clearly Lou Dort went across Julius Randle's arm. That was a foul. How you missed that? That's the kind of stuff where fights start, Ox. Like if you're doing stuff like that, you're gonna end up having a fight on your hands, and you don't want that as a ref. You don't.
Sure. Sometimes you have to do that. So I'm with that. Sometimes a few times a season. Sometimes, coach, you got to go crazy. You know, we saw Cheryl Reeve lose her mind in the WNBA,
and she was right
playoffs,
too.
And she did what she had to do. You got to protect your stars. You got to protect your players in general. So, you know, Finch did what he did. No big deal. It fired his team up, and they got it done.
Yes, sir.
That's all as far as games go yesterday. Context is still in the back. Said he got his mic fixed. I'm going to bring him up again and see if we can get to the bottom of some things. What's up, Tex?
Yo.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Now, all right. Fellas, what's the word?
What up?
What's going on, my guys?
What up?
You know, it's always a pleasure to see you. You know the shooters left Jersey, but we in Brooklyn. So, Drago, I'm gonna need you to chill out on all right? I'm gonna need you to relax. I feel like every time Drago pulls up, he's giving me, he looking at you like Apollo Creed. If he dies, he dies. I don't like that.
But
Drago,
the difference is this Apollo Creed, I still got it. So you ain't just gonna rough me up. I don't think so, brother. Nah, I'm always ready for it. I'm always ready for the fight, always. And I got plenty of arsenal to get it on. Yeah.
Listen, chill. That's let you know the shooters did not leave Jersey. We just in Brooklyn right now.
That's all we
That's all. One phone call away, buddy. That's all it is. But yeah. What's the word, guys? Just wanted to hop on just a couple of things, but I want to actually bring this up to the table. I actually want to have a conversation, and probably I don't know if maybe we got to do it on Chill with Chill, but I just want to go over is you guys we harped on a little bit, me, Ox, and the guys at NSB, is the business of basketball. This is the question I want to propose in the beginning. Is the business of basketball ruining basketball? Now, that goes from in all aspects. The GM side, how players' minutes restriction, how they handle injury. Like you said, it's weird to see Wemby on the bench. But calf strain, we got to protect our investment, right? How much does it goes from human interaction to commodities, right? To stocks, right? We have a platform that's ESPN that has a betting side. How much that plays into it, right? How did that play with the referee? So there's a lot of things that I think I would love to hear you, Tone, and possibly if we could jump on it, I would love to jump on it with Ox, and we could just kind of like break down, even in what you guys do, right? On the panel, right? Having opinions of certain players. How can that affect their money moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. So I just want to see. I'm very curious to think what you guys, and I would love to have like a detail. I think you can't pass over it. I think it needs to be presented because at this point it's ridiculous, right? We're watching something that's ridiculous. All right, on the other side, one thing that I did want to say, to the point of that OKC game, and I think you, Chill, and I, we kind of on the same page. I think that's the other level that Anthony Edwards has a little bit over SGA moving forward. It's that extra gear when it's time, when the meat and potatoes. I'm gonna do it two-way style. Now, SGA is a great two-way guy too. Don't get me wrong. It's intensity. It's a different. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a different vomit. That's all I'm saying. Baby MJ. That's all I'm saying, guys. I'm gonna leave it at that. Baby MJ. All right. Next thing I will say, shout out to Sadiq Bey in reviving his career. Like you said, Sadiq Bey, teams need to go get him. He has proven himself. He's good. The body's working. The energy's there. I would love to see him on a contender. I think 3 guys that people should be looking out for. If I'm Detroit, go get Sadiq Bey back. Toby, you're out of here, bud. Toby, you're out of here. If you're not gonna go get Lowry, go get Sadiq Bey back. I think he's a way better upgrade than Toby. Another thing that I think that we should look at, and it's up to y'all, which I think, in terms of Jaylen Brown going to Atlanta. Now, hear me out. You got Jalen Johnson at the 1. You got JB at the 2. Because Trey, he's out of there. I'm going to be honest with you. Trey's the odd man out. Respectfully, in Atlanta. Trey's the odd man out. You got Jalen Johnson.
Context. Stop right here. Stop right there. Because I can tell you right now, this is just a gap year in Boston. You ain't having, I'm not breaking my group up.
I don't want to hear that, Chill.
No, this is a gap year. We turned out to be better than what people thought. I'm just waiting for dude to get back. Don't call me about Jaylen Brown. No, do not call about Jaylen Brown.
The Celtics are not coming off of Jaylen Brown.
We're not interested,
especially not for Trey.
I mean, hear me out. No, don't get me wrong. And shout out to Jaylen Brown. I think he's been like the revamp in his career. Because remember,
not happening.
I'm just saying, if I'm Atlanta, Jalen Johnson at the 1, Jaylen Brown at the 2.
If you Atlanta, this is a two-way street. The Celtics aren't going for that. Trey Young for Jaylen Brown? Hell no.
Wait, hold on. No. So let me ask you, real quick. Do you think in terms of
last
guard
one,
play,
we gotta go.
Yeah, last question. For Boston, you think for that guard play, they don't need to upgrade the guard play?
Oh, they will in the draft and in free agency in the summer. Mm-hmm. They will.
They got the money for that. They got money for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm with you. 5 guys. Yes.
Oh, that's fair. All right, brother. Well, no need to stress you out. I'm just saying, JB, go to Atlanta, brother. They'll love you better than in Boston. I'm just saying. All right, my guys, you already know.
All love. Talk to you, brother.
All right,
yes,
Tex.
Talk to you. They are not entertaining that, Ox. They not.
Not at all. No way.
Hell no. So,
yeah, but that's all we got. Chill. I really wanted to talk about a couple things. Something that Tex brought up, and we'll bring it back up on Monday on the panel. And if we don't get to it then, I mean, it's not going anywhere. We could talk about it next Saturday. But I just want to just preface this. What Tex talked about with the
business of basketball.
The business of basketball,
sure.
And Adam Silver talking about fans heckling players. If you bring up parlays and betting, there will be serious consequences. So the NBA, ESPN, all these companies are pushing betting, pushing gambling, but you can't talk about it. I'm sick of these soft ass players and GMs and coaches and owners and refs. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the softness kicking fans out for heckling players anyway. I'm sick of that already. But
by the way,
because that's ridiculous.
That's kind of part of it. That's kind of part of it.
To me,
yeah, that's kind of part of it.
Don't play basketball, right? No. But Now, if you say anything about a parlay, Chill, apparently there will be serious consequences. So there's that. But also, Chill, what we didn't get to was the tanking. The tanking. We were supposed to talk about that today, about them saying they're going to be putting in new things to discourage tanking, I guess, and ways to move around that, new ways to deal with the lottery and things like that. So what we got to do is bring up that on Monday. I'm going to message Ron. I'll send that to him, let him know we have to talk about that on Monday because I was an L host today and didn't bring it up. But we're out of time.
Yes, sir.
We actually went over. We got to get going, y'all. So appreciate y'all for pulling up.
Yes, sir.
Chill.
It's good to see you guys. Y'all know where to find me and the big fella. We here every Saturday at 12 o'clock Eastern. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. I'm actually going to see my mother next week. Call your mother. And if you're ever in the Portland area and you had too much to drink, my big fella, he got you. Give him a call. He'll make sure that you get to where you're trying to go. So we will see you guys soon. Until then, take it light, but take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys today. It's super
Peace.
No doubt.
We will see y'all on Monday. Tomorrow, if you want to talk football, make sure you get here on the Players Choice Network to watch Press Box. We got some of the best football minds in the industry. Make sure y'all pull up and check it out. Until then, we'll see y'all on Monday. And on Monday, we'll get to watch my man Phillip Rivers take it to the
Niners, baby.
49ers.
Niners, baby.
In the meantime, though, y'all, appreciate y'all for pulling up. Like I said, man, never, ever, 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 ever drink and drive. We'll see y'all on Monday. Peace.
Niners, baby. Yeah.
My man